Hey, everybody. About 40 minutes ago, I found out the news that Rob Reiner, who played Meathead on All in the Family, was killed in his own home, along with um, Michelle, his wife, and their son was taken into custody or taken away for questioning, not so much for custody, taken into questioning. The story was broke by TMZ. So, what follows from first of all, I'm going to show you what I saw that led me to the news. Um, and so you can have an idea. And that's right here from the Twitter account of a fellow by the name of Huber, I guess it is. Um, and so, as you can see, uh, yeah, as you can see right there, right? And there's some TV accounts and everything else. But wow. Uh, Rob Reiner, to anybody who grew up in the 70s and in particular came into our living rooms regularly with the late Carol O'Connor and Gene Stapleton and Sally Struthers to play on Owl and the Family. And it was path breaking. It was written by Norman Lear, who passed away, I believe, 2 years ago. It was path breaking in its sincerity, honesty, and daring. It touched on subjects like racism, sexism, politics, and did so in a way that even by today's standards, it is without peer. It was just plain old without peer. And so Rob Reiner went on from his role as Meathead to become a great producer and director, uh, best known for When Harry Met Sally, which featured uh, the Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal. Wow, I think of all these stars and everything else, and um, it's unbelievable that this is happening as it is. Um, because they broke the story. This is what TMZ reported. TMZ. I'm going to read it to you, not so much show it to you, but they have, as is the case with stories of this type, been all over this news. And so it, oh, excuse me for a second, folks. The usual internet not reacting as quickly as you want it to blues, right? But here it is, the news about Rob Reiner. And it's Rob Reiner and wife Michelle found dead at LA home, wounds consistent with a knife, it reads. This was posted at 7:20 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which was 10:20 Eastern Standard Time, just about an hour ago. So yeah, this is fresh, and um, it reads: Rob Reiner, the legendary director, and his wife Michelle Singer Reiner, Rob Reiner, excuse me, the legendary director and his wife Michelle Singer Reiner have died. TMZ has learned. As we told you, two dead bodies were found in Rob and Michelle's Brentwood home Sunday afternoon. Law enforcement sources tell us it's the Reiners. Now, I found a Twitter report that their son was taken in for questioning. Um, and this goes on to read: Our sources say that the two suffered lacerations consistent with a knife. The Los Angeles Police Department Robbery Homicide Division is still investigating. Uh, Dispatch audio captures a fighter calling for backup to the Brentwood mansion around 3:30 p.m., though it doesn't provide any further information about the circumstances in the house. Um, then it goes on to say here, hold on a second. Uh, this is, uh, a little slow to change, primarily because I believe there's so many people probably on the TMZ site right now. At any rate, let me scroll down here, um, and trying to scroll down, and folks, the site is sort of frozen. The site is froze. So, at any rate, there were a couple of reports on Twitter that the son was taken in by LA police departments for questioning. And was there any, did I ever see any reports about any issues that he had with his son? No, I did not. And I think I would have heard or seen something like that lately. Um, was there any indication of any problem? I don't, I can't say that I know. I'm sort of buying time here. I'm trying to wait for this website to refresh uh, and scroll down, and it is definitely not doing that, folks, for TMZ. So what I'm going to have to do is, one moment, please. What a crazy, yeah, it is a crazy. At any rate, uh, Falcons fan says, what a crazy past couple of days with all the shootings and now this. Sad. It is sad. And it is crazy that this is happening as it has happened. Um, uh, yeah, for absolute certain, you're absolutely right about that. Um, Absolutely right about that. And let's see here. I can get some more background here as far as this matter um, for you. Uh, Rob, the TMZ site is just, it's frozen, so it's not presenting itself as I would like to. Okay, uh, so because it's getting so much traffic. At any rate, um, there's I'm typing Rob Reiner and then SON, which is son, in search, and so what I'm getting back is that here we have some more information. This just came up 13 minutes ago by a Johnny St. Pete. Oh my God, Rob Reiner and wife Michele murdered by middle son Nick Reiner, who is missing. So Nick Reiner is missing. They said the son was, now someone else said their son was taken and wait in. This person is reporting that Nick Reiner is missing. Now maybe he's missing because he was taken in by police, but this person goes on to write, Nick previously battled severe drug addiction starting in his teens, enduring 17 rehab stints, homelessness in multiple states, and periods on the streets as well. Um, and so he co-wrote the 2015 film Being Charlie. I remember that. Now, directed by Rob Reiner, his father, and is loosely based on those struggles and has been sober since 19. The way I say I remember that there was a film by that title. I admittedly didn't know what it was about. Okay. So there. And then another report, this is 58 minutes ago, before the 13-minute one, by Apex, just in major LA police presence outside near home of director and actor Rob Reiner, along with an old woman. This person describes that's Michele. Near his Brentwood mansion in California, multiple helicopters have been circling the property, getting aerial video. There are reports that LAPD has taken his son in for questioning after the deaths. So there is okay. All right. Then Apex updated it, saying sources told People magazine that Rob Reiner and wife Michele Singer Reiner were killed by their son Nick, who is now missing after the fatal stabbing at their Brentwood home. So you have a killer on the loose who's this is so sad, who's the son of one of the greatest actors, entertainers, and producers and directors of our time, and a person who was known for his care for those who didn't have a lot, and his political advocacy over the years. And wow, this is unbelievable. This person writes, his son was known for having mental issues and drug addiction. Rob tried to help his troubled son for years, who was in and out of rehab, paid for by Rob Reiner, with the ultimate betrayal. Yep, and that's the ultimate betrayal. I can't believe this is happening. Um, and so someone actually posted a trailer for Beginning Charlie, which I can't present here for copyright reasons. Okay. Um, it's described, however, as a deeply personal film, co-written by his son Nick, drawn from Nick's years battling addiction. Reiner later said, "What I didn't understand was the depth of what my son was going through. A father trying to truly see his child." Um, and I have to admit that this is a difficult thing um, to again be presented with, because it just seems like if you turn around in today's society, there's everybody has somebody that they know in their family or extended family that is battling drug addiction and hasn't gotten the help and support they need, or anything else. Okay, as I was saying, sorry, I had a little technical thing I had to deal with there. Uh, this is unbelievable. Now, let me see what else if I can get. Let me see if I can get TMZ to work here and operate, um, because before it wasn't doing that. Okay, here, and I've got. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put TMZ article in here so you can see what I'm talking about. uh, if it will allow me to do so, given how slow it is, right? Okay, so let me stop the screen there, and then call me up here and go back and get it. Wow, there's is it some moon juju? Is there a biblical reference that uh, this can uh, be tied to something going on? I don't know. Here is TMZ, and this is the article. Found dead as I read to you. Okay. And then goes on to say, keep reading here. Uh, um, Hold on a second. Okay. Oh, it's not scrolling down. TMZ's the site is not scrolling down, folks. So I'm going to give up on reading it because I don't understand why it's not producing or presenting itself. So at any rate, let me try something here. So reload. All right, I'm back. I'm just going to read to you what I find. I'm not going to show it because when I do, it gets gummed up. There's a lot of stuff going on here. All right, a lot. Um, so we've got the latest news there. I told you about the movie that his son made, and it. So someone says, "Sad to hear this." Didn't. Well, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna read the posts that have anything to do with politics because that's out of place. Um, and now apparently it's not a murder suicide. I just don't know precisely what happened. Um, they're described as a man and woman in their 70s and 60s discovered dead in Los Angeles. Residence owned by the famed director. Police launched robbery homicide investigation, while officials withhold formal identification as the cause of death. What happened is that Los Angeles Fire Department officials say paramedics responded around 3:30 to 3:40 p.m. Today, December 14th, to a medical emergency at a home on the 200 block of Chadbourne Avenue in Brentwood, where they discovered a man and woman deceased inside. Multiple outlets, including USA Today, NBC, and the Los Angeles Times, report that the property is owned by Rob Reiner, a longtime actor and director, best known for All in the Families, This is Spinal Tap, The Princess Bride, and When Harry Met Sally. Uh, a bunch of classics, in other words, folks. Law enforcement sources quoted by several major entertainment and news publications describe a large police presence at the scene and confirm that the LAPD's robbery homicide division has taken over the case. Officials initially treated the response as a death investigation, but now we have the involvement of robbery. Homicide and reports of apparent injuries have prompted widespread coverage of the incident, as a homicide. Uh, Reports were named victims, while the Los Angeles Police Department has not publicly identified the victims. As of this writing, TMZ and other entertainment outlets citing law enforcement sources report that the deceased are Rob Reiner and his wife, Michele Singer Reiner. Those reports state that both appeared to suffer lacerations consistent with knife wounds, though no official cause or manner of death has been released. People Magazine, Parade Magazine, and other national outlets have followed with obituaries and news pieces treating Reiner's death as confirmed, relying on those same anonymous law enforcement accounts. At the same time, more traditional hard news outlets like USA Today and the LA Times have continued to note that the victims' names and specific causes of death have not been formally announced by authorities. So, the official status of the investigation. As of the latest reporting on December 14th, police have not held a detailed press conference or written a statement publicly identifying the victims or specifying how they died. Officials have confirmed only the discovery of two bodies, their approximate ages, and the fact that homicide detectives are handling the investigation, emphasizing that the case is active and on evolving. Several reports indicate that the case escalated from an initial medical aid response to a full robbery homicide probe once first responders assessed the scene. There have been no announcements of suspects, arrests, or definitive ruling on whether this was a murder, suicide, double homicide, or some other scenario. And police have not publicly discussed any possible motive. Here's a fact check summary. Two people found dead at a home owned by Rob Reiner in Brentwood. Um, Confirmed by multiple mainstream outlets and law enforcement sources. Age of the deceased, approximately 78 years old man, Mr. Reiner, 68-year-old woman, Miss Singer Reiner, and confirmed by Los Angeles Fire Department statements reported by USA Today and others. Investigation led by LAPD Robbery Homicide Division and treated as possible homicide. Reports by NBC Los Angeles and other local and national outlets. Victims specifically identified as Rob Reiner and Michele Singer Reiner with knife-related lacerations. That was reported by TMZ, the Parade, and the other outlets I listed before. But there's been no official cause or manner of death at all at this writing as of the naming of this. And so I'm going to turn to CNN to see if they have any on this. Let's see here.
Work. And someone who, with his wife Michele, produced so many works right up until earlier this year. Michele and Ron were married about 35 years ago. They met when Ron was working on When Harry Met Sally, and now we know those were the two victims in this apparent homicide there in Brentwood. And when you think about Rob Reiner's life, he followed in his dad Carl's footsteps, and it was really that character Meathead from All in the Family that made Rob Reiner this legendary star, someone who could write his own ticket in Hollywood and do pretty much whatever he wanted. Well, he chose to direct a film, and not just any film, but this is Spinal Tap, an improvisational, big hair, big rock mockumentary, an incredibly risky endeavor. But Reiner leaned to it, embraced it, and it paid off in a huge way. It was a little bit of a hit in the theaters, but it became a huge hit on the home video market and inspired filmmakers for generations. So you go from that film to A Few Good Men and Stand By Me and When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
And then he also had supporting actor moments in films like Primary Colors. So like I said, he wore many hats over the years. And I was thinking, Eric, about the last time I interviewed Reiner. This was back in 2018. I was sitting down with a tape an interview with him about his film and TV work, but also about his political activism. And I just remember he instantly made everyone in the room feel so comfortable. He had everybody in stitches. He was this
I'm going to freeze him because what I'm going to, nothing against what CNN is doing, but every time I think about a star, I think of what they were not just known for doing, but what they were most recently doing. And so I like to go to IMDb. And in this case, Rob Reiner is known for 25 titles. I'll list them by order. The Princess Bride, 1987. Let me sort this by alphabetical order. I'm sorry. Or actually, you know what? Let me sort this by age is what I really want to do. Release date. Okay. All right. His first was something called Likely Stories Volume 1 in 1981. Then This is Spinal Tap was 1984. The Sure Thing, which I remember, which is 1985, which is actually funny. I actually saw that. The Sure Thing. Like he thought this was a sure thing he was going to get laid. All right. That's what this college freshman was about. Of course, it happened to be anything but that. Then, of course, there was the classic Stand By Me in 1986. A writer recounts a childhood journey with his friends to find the body of a missing boy. Then there was The Princess Bride in 1987. A bedridden boy's grandfather reads him the story of a farm boy turned pirate who encounters numerous obstacles, enemies, and allies in his quest to be reunited with his true love. Oh, by the way, hold on a second. Here's the breaking news here. I'm sorry.
Chief of Detectives for the Los Angeles Police Department. I'm going to give a brief statement, and then we're going to address any questions that we can. I understand there are going to be questions regarding what occurred here tonight. I will not be able to provide information in a lot of areas that questions may be getting asked, but I'll do the best I can. So at approximately 3:40 this afternoon, Los Angeles police officers, along with the Los Angeles City Fire Department, responded to the 200 block of Chadbourne Avenue here in the city of Brentwood. Upon arrival, they determined that there were two deceased individuals inside of the residence. The Los Angeles Police Department is now conducting an investigation at this residence here on Chadbourne, and that investigation will continue over the coming days. We will not be releasing any information regarding who was found deceased in the residence because that will be done by the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office. So if there are any inquiries regarding the identity of the individuals that are deceased inside of the residence, that information will come from the LA County Coroner's Office. The current death investigation that is being conducted by the Los Angeles Police Department is going to be handled by the Homicide Special Section of Robbery Homicide Division of the Los Angeles Police Department. That investigation will move forward through the night, and tomorrow morning we will probably have additional information regarding what occurred here on Chadbourne and our investigation moving forward. We will not be releasing any further information regarding the investigation that is occurring here in Brentwood tonight. Our detectives will be responding along with our Forensic Science Division and our Technical Investigation Division investigators to conduct a full crime scene investigation and determine the appropriateness of the investigation moving forward. At this time, the Los Angeles Police Department is not seeking anyone as a suspect or as a person of interest or in any other manner, and we will not be doing that until we conduct our investigation and we move forward. That's all I have right now at this early preliminary stage of this investigation. If you have questions that I can answer, I will answer them. I would just ask you, please, if we do not have the ability to answer the questions, that you remain patient over the coming hours and over the coming days. Starting tomorrow morning, we will be responding and providing additional information as it becomes publicly available. Pete. So we understand that the person reporting was here at the location. We're not going to release any information regarding the identity of that individual at this time. Hold on. One at a time, please.
Can you confirm that? And is that family member being cooperative?
There are going to be many family members interviewed. I'm not going to confirm whether someone's being interviewed at this time or not. We're going to try to speak to every family member that we can to get to the facts of this investigation.
Why are you not looking for a suspect?
I'm sorry.
Why are you not exactly looking for a suspect? Are you confident you know who did this?
We have not identified a suspect at this time.
Well, then shouldn't you be looking for one so these neighbors aren't worried about their own lives and their own safety?
Yeah, so at this time, after we determine, so I need everyone to understand something. In order to comply with the legal process, before we do anything here, we have to get a search warrant because there are issues regarding standing at this residence. So as long as those legal requirements are met, we can continue the investigation. Now, when I tell you that we have not identified a suspect, it doesn't mean that we're not working the case. We will not identify a suspect until that person is identified as a suspect and we're legally seeking them if there is a crime to be reported and if that person is a suspect in that crime. Did that, no, hold on. Did that answer your question, sir? Okay, go ahead.
Has anyone been detained yet for questioning? Are you questioning people now that could be possible suspects and or a person or persons?
Specifically in your first question, no one has been detained. Specifically in your second question, no one is being interviewed as a suspect. We're not gonna comment on the injuries at this time. That information will be coming forward in the coming days as it's publicly releasable. If it is part of the investigation and it is not publicly releasable, we will not be releasing it. Hold on. One at a time. Whoa. Hold on, one at a time. This gentleman is next.
Are your detectives inside the home right now, or are they getting access to the home right now as we speak?
We're waiting for the legal process to move forward. We have to obtain a search warrant for the residence. As soon as that is complied with, we will be conducting a full crime scene investigation of the interior and the exterior of the residence and the surrounding neighborhood.
Just to follow up, is there somebody from the family now?
Yeah, Rob Reiner.
Inside the home right
Yeah,
now?
hold on a second. Sorry.
That's it.
Yeah, my mom was. Yeah, it was Rob Reiner and his wife Michele Singer Reiner, and even though the police haven't said who the suspect officially is, the reports starting with a number of sources are that his son Nick did it, killed him, and that it was a robbery investigation and not just a homicide, but it was also a robbery investigation, and that he's missing. They can't find
The son.
right, which means the son is on the run, which means the son is at large, right? So, and I wish, well, he would say that. Hold on a second. Let me go back and hear what he's saying.
We will bring them to justice and we will take them into custody.
Which means, okay, some.
It's the Reiners.
I can't speak for the mayor, but I can speak for the Los Angeles Police Department. The Los Angeles County Coroner will identify the decedents that are inside of the residence. And that will be, that will be the official notification and the official identification of the decedents inside of the residence. I'm not going to address that. Ma'am?
This is on CNN,
Sure,
by the way.
there's a legal process whenever you're going to conduct an investigation at a crime scene in the state of California. There are certain requirements that you have to meet in order to conduct a thorough investigation. So you don't want to start a crime scene investigation and then have someone say, I need you guys to leave the residence right now. So we're going to, hold on, you asked the question, I'm going to answer. So we have to comply with the legal process. Once the warrant is signed and delivered, We will have access to the crime scene. We will conduct a full, thorough, and partial investigation. We will conduct additional investigations in the neighborhood around this area. And then with that information, we will go forward with the investigation, whether it is a death investigation or some other type of investigation.
They say you've been in rehab 17 times.
And I do want to be clear. Hold on. I want to be clear with one thing. Wherever we can be transparent and provide information to the public, we will release it as soon as we can.
Is there an understanding about when the decedents may have passed?
No. That's going to be determined by the coroner. The coroner's not here.
It's been about 6 hours since the first report. Why is it taking so long to gain access to certain things?
I don't understand the specific point of the question.
6 hours since police were first called.
Yeah. So, okay. So just to be clear, there's an initial investigation when the patrol officers arrive. When they make a determination that detectives are needed, they will back out. We will conduct a sweep of the area to make sure that it's safe. And then we will comply with the legal process, and then we move forward. I'm not giving you the exact timeline on that, but I'm telling you that it's moving forward. Pete, you had another question.
How soon do we anticipate getting a warrant where you're able to search the entire property interior and exterior? Second, do we have an ETA on the coroner's arrival? And once they arrive, they can issue determination. Will they be able to give you identification you can then release?
We'll be obtaining the warrant in real time very shortly, if we have not obtained it already. In terms of the coroner's ETA, I cannot tell you when their estimated time of arrival is. We're already in communication with the coroner's office.
As far as the overall investigation is concerned, beyond the initial determination of the scenes inside, we really haven't done anything in the way of any kind of forensics on the death scene itself, right?
That's correct. We've only done preliminary investigation at this point.
Are the bodies still there in the houses?
No, okay, so nothing has occurred inside the house. The house is in the exact same state it was when the officers arrived, just to be clear. I'm sorry? I can't hear you. Oh, are we safe in Brentwood? I'm sorry. Yeah, so we have officers here at the scene. We have officers in the area. We're not looking for anyone in the Brentwood area at this point. We're not looking for anyone because we're still working on that part of the investigation. Oh, hold on. Someone over here had a question.
The fact that it's been reported it was the son of the criminal.
I don't understand.
Rob Reiner's son is.
What reported by who? Okay, I don't know. People magazine or people in the. I don't know anything about that. Yeah, that did not. Hold on. That did not come from the LAPD. Go ahead.
Can you give us a sense of how many witnesses, if any, you guys have been able to talk to?
The thing is, if the family is reporting what happened, and
full information in terms of what unfolded inside that home.
So we've already been talking to the neighbors. We've already been canvassing the neighborhood and speaking.
I don't know why they're not reporting what the family is saying. I don't know why LAPD isn't reporting it, but whatever.
Someone that may have information regarding what happened inside the residence, we're not going to release that information. That'll be part of the investigation.
Were there other family members?
There's been no reports from the neighbors regarding hearing anything or seeing anything that we can release to the public.
Here's the thing: is the son still on the? He's not saying the son is at large. You know, if it's a search,
we haven't established that yet. We will establish that soon, and then that'll be part of the investigation.
You okay?
The part that is publicly releasable, we will release. The cause of death will be released by the LA County coroner. We're looking into getting the information from the LA County coroner when it's available. Somebody over here had a question. Yes, ma'am. We didn't say.
Were any weapons found at the scene?
We didn't say anything about weapons either.
Yeah, they're asking a lot of. Okay.
All right, thanks, everybody.
All right, so that wraps that up, folks.
So we're calling it a death investigation at this point.
I'm going to put that on. So I'm going to go back to what I was talking about regarding Reiner's IMDb International Movie Database list of movies, and I believe actually I can put that here, so you can see what I'm reading, and it's here, and there it is. Let me see if I can enlarge it a bit. Zoom in so you get a better idea, and then zoom in once more. Yeah, so there's The Princess Bride, 1987. When Harry Met Sally, 1989. In fact, I was actually at the deli that in New York that where that scene was filmed. You know, the simulated sex scene, basically that Sally was doing, played by Meg Ryan. Um, and so that's a fun place to say the least, and a lot of fun. Um, and but like Rob Reiner's movies, it not only touched on issues of the time of how we socialize as men and women, but also how we enjoyed life, going to delis, bands, so on. It really captured who we are as an American society and what we do within it, how we relate to each other within it. Misery in 1990, after a famous author is rescued from a car crash by a fan of his novels, he comes to realize that the care he's receiving is only the beginning of a nightmare of captivity and abuse. That was with Rob Reiner starring James Caan, Kathy Bates as the protagonist, and Richard Farnsworth. Then, of course, there was A Few Good Men, one of my favorite movies. That was Rob Reiner with Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, and Demi Moore. How many times have you seen it? And how many lines from A Few Good Men do you remember? Wow. Then, of course, 1994, there was North. Sick of being neglected by his parents, a young boy leaves home and travels the world in search of new parents. um, the American President, this is another favorite of mine. And this is 1995, starred Michael Douglas, Annette Bening, and Martin Sheen. Then there was The Ghost of Mississippi in 1996, a Mississippi district attorney and the widow of Medgar Evers struggled to finally bring a white supremacist to justice for the 1963 murder of the civil rights leader. It starred Rob Reiner with Alec Baldwin, James Woods, and Whoopi Goldberg. Then I Am Your Child in 1997. And the story of Us in 1999, that was Ben and Katie Jordan, a married couple who go through hard times in 15 years of marriage, starring Bruce Willis and Michelle Pfeiffer, with Colleen Rinson, directed, of course, by Rob Reiner. And then Alex and Emma, that was 2003. A writer must turn out a novel in 30 days or face the wrath of loan sharks. Then there was Everyday Life in 2004. That starred Mary Gallagher and Jonathan Magnum and Joey Neighbor. And there was Rumor Has It, which was fun. That was 2005. Sarah Hundinger is a woman who learns that her family was the inspiration for the book and film The Graduate, and that she just might be the offspring of the well-documented event. There's The Bucket List. Two terminally ill men escape from a cancer ward and head off on a road trip with a wish list of to-dos before they die. That starred Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman, and really how they became friends, also with Sean Hayes. And then there was Flipped, in 2010. When Julie meets Bryce in the second grade, she knows it's true love. After spending 6 years trying to convince Bryce of the same, she's ready to give up until he starts to reconsider. And then there's Eight, live chronicle of the landmark federal trial of California's Proposition 8, using the actual court transcripts and firsthand interviews. That was in 2012. Then there was The Magic of Belle Isle in 2012. Monty Wildhorn, an alcoholic novelist of Westerns, has lost his drive. His nephew pushes him to summer in quiet Belle Isle. He grudgingly befriends a newly single mom and her 3 girls who help him find the inspiration to write again. And there's And So It Goes, starring Michael Douglas, Diane Keaton, and Sterling Jens. A self-absorbed realtor enlists the help of his neighbor when he suddenly is left in charge of the granddaughter he never knew existed until his estranged son drops her off at his home. Then there's Being Charlie in 2015. A would-be governor's addicted son goes down the long, tough, rough road of rehab, fighting against recovery every inch of the way. And this Being Charlie is about his relationship with his son, Nick, Being Charlie. Then there's LBJ in 2016. Lyndon B. Johnson aligns himself with John F. Kennedy, rises to the presidency, and deals with the civil rights struggles of the 1960s. Then there's 2017, and his last movie he directed, Shock and Awe. A group of journalists of the Knight Ridder News Service covering President George W. Bush's planned invasion of Iraq in 2003 are skeptical of the president's claim that Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction. And so those are the movies of Rob Reiner, folks. And as RD says, you can't handle the truth. That's from A Few Good Men. Oh God, I'm not gonna cry here. Yeah, you know, it really hurts because of the enormous impact this man has had on our lives. He is a touchstone of American culture, Rob Reiner, because what people don't understand about American culture, in my opinion, is that, yeah, we're all different in some kind of way. And then, of course, we have different backgrounds: Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Jew, Gentile. But what binds us are these events like, hey, remember that movie When Harry Met Sally, or you remember A Few Good Men in the Line? Because we all go to entertain ourselves at these same places. We all gather together as Americans to watch our favorite actors, to basically be entertained and go with friends, and then go to dinner and talk about what we saw, or have people over and watch a film of it, and it used to be DVDs, and now on the internet, and now you can go into Facebook groups and do the same thing. But it's all around movies that we enjoy, or you can be a fan of such things as Star Trek Club or anything else. But this is what makes us as Americans. It binds us together as one people, and we have a shared set of values and enjoyments that go beyond our physical differences. And that's powerful. No other country can lay claim to that. None. And this man has been one of the constructors, and there are many that contribute, that are continuing to do that, of that. So, yeah, his best work was Meathead. I mean, anyway. Well, folks, I don't know where this is going to lead. I really don't. I'm going to make one call here. If there's one call I can make, and let's see here. That may be the right call. Hold on a second. And if he is in, he may be, may not be. Hold on a second. I'm calling my friend, Hollywood publicist Ed Losey, Beverly Hills publicist, and because I know he would have a lot to say about this, but he's also busy. Ed, this is Zenny online on my program, and I just wanted to call and get your comments on this, but I know that you are busy on this, so I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Yeah. So, and then he says it's another reminder we all have problems in our lives. Nobody has it easy. Yep. And he says, please don't. R.D. Moss says, please don't call Geno Smith. Hey, why not? I'm sure Geno would have something to say about this. I don't know. Yeah. What a sad moment. What a sad thing to happen to a great man who's so much a part of our lives. Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner. All right, everybody. I'll keep you posted with updates. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you.